Hello everyone, my name is Heather and today I am here to talk about the scariest thrillers I have read. So I've hesitated on making this video because I've done my favorite thrillers, like I feel like I do it every year and that's great, but I wanted to talk about ones that just really genuinely terrified me. And I don't have like a crazy long list because honestly, I don't read really super scary books because I am a scaredy cat. So with this video, take it with a grain of salt. If you're looking for some really deep slasher, really super scary books, this will probably not be the video for you. I am not that intense into them because I can't even watch scary movie previews without getting scared. I am not kidding. So these are what scared me. My threshold for scary is a lot different than yours. Probably some people are just takes a long time for them to get scared of books or movies and things like that. Me, it doesn't take me barely anything. So these are ones that genuinely were scary and frightening to me, and I'll tell you why. And you know, maybe you'll watch this and be like, oh my gosh, or maybe you'll watch this and be like, yes, I feel you, I'm with you. So yeah, let's just get into it. Up is one that it was scary in the fact I was like, this is freaking intense. You by Caroline Kepnes, and especially the audiobook. If you read this book, listen to the audiobook because this is from the point of view of our good friend Joe, who is a stalker and a murderer, and he tells it from the point of view, especially listen to the audiobook. I'm following you into the coffee shop and I'm watching you, and you know, it feels like it's talking directly to you, which is why it's super scary. You're getting the point of view of a stalker. Joe finds this girl named Caroline and he becomes literally obsessed with her, and he puts himself into her life and he stalks her, murders people around her, and it gets intense. I only recommend the first book in this series because it's now 4 books long. The second book was horrible and I refused to read any more after that because it was just bleh. There is a show going on. I did not love the latest season at all. I would say the first 2 were really good. Then it kind of goes off from there. The first season, great. But the first book, super scary. It makes you think of like, somebody stalking me, is somebody finding out my life, things like that. And it's just really creepy. That's why I'm putting this on there, because it creeped me out because I just felt like I was looking over my shoulder every 5 minutes. Like, oh my gosh, is somebody there? You know what I'm saying? You get that feeling. I have one I've read this year, and that is How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. This book scared the crap out of me. It's about a girl that learns that her parents have passed away. So she has to go back to their house in South Carolina with her brother to kind of sell their parents' house. Her mom was a Christian puppeteer, so the house is full of puppets and it's creepy and things like that. You know, when she's there at the house, the TV will turn on and off by itself, doors will close, things are just not quite normal. And basically this is about an evil puppet in this book named Pumpkin, and it scared the crap out of me. I've read reviews where some people are the same vein as me, as like, this was definitely scary, I couldn't, you know, it affected me. And then some people were like, this was so stupid, I couldn't stand it. I fell in the camp with it scared the crap out of me. Like, Pumpkin was freaking intense. Like, he was a scary, like, there's one scene in this book that was so graphic. Like, I don't know, it scared me. Grady Hendrix does a good way with horror, with comedic kind of stuff in there too, so it's not overtly scary, but this one definitely scared me, but it also made me cry. There's not a lot of books I can say I've read that made me simultaneously scared one page and then sobbing the next because of the connection with the brother and sister. I felt just very close to that and kinship with that, but man, the haunted freaking puppet scared the life out of me. Never again. Speaking of being scared, that's what this whole video is about really. Kill Creek by Scott Thomas. Definitely the easily scariest haunted house book I've read. This book is all about a character, what is his name? Sam, and he's a best-selling horror author, and he gets an opportunity to be interviewed along with like 3 other horror authors. There's like one middle grade one, there's like a really indie horror author, and they all get interviewed in this house called Kill Creek, which is like the world's most like notorious haunted house. They have to spend the night there, and it's on Halloween Eve. It's like spooky on spooky on spooky. And basically the tagline, it says, what begins as a simple publicity stunt will become a fight for survival. The entity they have awakened will follow them, torment them, threatening to make them a part of the bloody legacy of Kill Creek. The first half of this book, not really scary at all. The second half, like especially the last quarter, intense, scared the crap out of me. Like, this house was creepy, haunted, messed up. Whew, it scared me. I'll say that. Next up, we have Hidden Pictures by Jason Rukulak. So what's what's really scary about this book is the fact that there are pictures in it, because this whole book is about a character named Mallory who is fresh out of rehab, and she takes this job to be a nanny in this really wealthy neighborhood, and she starts babysitting this little boy, and he draws her pictures every now and then, and it's like all great. They're just, nice pictures of goats and, other things. It's just, your nice pictures of like bunnies, typical little kid pictures. But then, and the more time she starts spending with this boy, he starts drawing like somebody's body being dragged, which is just creepy as mess, and they get more intense, and I'm telling you, this book is full of chock full of drawings that just get more creepier as they go along, which is why this book is creepy. I think if it didn't have the pictures in it, it wouldn't be effective as much, because there's one thing like reading about it, but then actually seeing the pictures about it. But it's, you wonder if this boy is maybe possessed, or maybe there's something going on that's paranormal, and it was spooky. I definitely think the pictures added the element to the spookiness of it, which yeah, and anything with little kids in particular will scare the crap out of me, which will make me go on to my next one, The Whisper Man by Alex North. I hesitated in reading this for so long because it has to do with a kidnapping, and I don't do well with those books. In fact, I stay away from those books. Anything with like kids kidnapping or things like that, no, I am a mom. I have 2 young kids. No, I don't even like to think about that, But I read this because everyone else was talking about it, and I didn't love it. It wasn't horrible, but it was spooky. It's about this little boy that basically gets kidnapped, and things are kind of going paranormal, things are getting creepy, and it scared me. It legitimately scared me. It scared me the fact of like, I thought as a mom about, and when you read a book and those thoughts get in your head, it will affect you like 1000%, and this one definitely did. Again, it wasn't like super duper like creepy and overly scary, but the whole fact of the nature of like a child, moving on. Then we have Dead Silence. So this is a book I read, I want to say last year, maybe the year before. It's a sci-fi book. It's kind of like haunted Titanic, but in space, if you will. I know that's like a weird pitch line. Basically, this crew out in space learns of a distress signal from this ship that has been lost for forever, and it's like a rocket or something that's designed like a cruise ship, if that sounds crazy enough. And basically what happened to that cruise ship in space is things went haywire, and it got lost in space, and nobody's seen it since. So this crew finds this ship, and they call it like kind of the ghost ship, if you will, and they go on it, and things are immediately very, very weird, and it is creepy and foreboding. I didn't love the way it ended at all. Like, I did not like the way it turned, but it definitely built up the suspense, and it creeped me out. Like when we first found this ship and we were about to go onto it, the way the author was getting that foreboding feeling definitely fit the bill, and it definitely made me scared to go on this boat. Like, it scared me. So I would highly recommend this one. Maybe if like, I don't know, like it wasn't my favorite, I recommend it if you want to be scared and have that foreboding feel of like a Titanic ghost ship in the sky. And then the last book, I know, like I said, I don't have a lot because keep in mind, I try not to read super scary books. The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. This one just really got into my head. And this one is about a character named Shay. And basically, when she was in college, her and her best friends met this guy, and they became captivated by him. And they got to kind of get into a cult. And years later, they finally escaped it. And now years later, Shay is married, has kids, and she learns of one of her other friends that was in the cult that escaped was found dead. And so she's like, what the heck? And so she goes to investigate, and she gets kind of back in the fold of this whole thing. And it says, but in the world built for men to rule it, both inside the cult and outside of it, is justice even possible? And if so, how far will Shay go to get it? And it's just very dark. It's not overtly spooky or scary, but it's dark in the content, the way it's written. Shay goes back into this world where like men rule, and they think women are nothing, and that's kind of their cult mentality. And Shay kind of goes back to her college self, and it gets dark and dreary and honestly depressing. Like, this book got into my head, and I'm very nervous to read her newest book, which is also probably going to scare the crap out of me, Midnight is the Darkest Hour. But we'll see. But this one, it definitely affected me mentally wise with getting into my head and having kind of like dark you know, when you read kind of books like that and it gets into you, that's what happened to me with this book. So there you have my creepiest books I've read. Like I said, not a ton, but there are some that really did scare me. You might be watching and be like, this is literally nothing. On a scale of 1 to 10 of scariness, it's like a 0.2. For me, it was high up there, but that's for me. Everyone's scale on everything is different. So I would love to know what books scared the pants off of you. I will probably never read them, but I would love to know which ones scared the pants off of you. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.